Hello, people of Earth and elsewhere. Welcome back to the show where the content is spam and I am Crackers. Today's spam is me indulging in a strange tendency I have to compare characters in animes by their physical statistics. I mean, when you look at a character in their own anime, you can say that, oh, they're really tall, or oh, they're really short. But what fun is it to compare them to people who are just in their own series? At least for me, it's not very fun at all, so I've decided to make a chart or a list of characters and exactly how tall they are according to official sources. And there's only a few rules for how this list works. Complete height is not determined by a character's hair, no matter how crazy they are. After a certain point, you have to realize there is a head underneath all their hair, and that is where the height ends. Next, as much as I wanted to get a variety of anime characters in here, not everyone is nice enough to give these kinds of statistics about their characters, so I had to improvise with what I have, and there is a bunch of repetition among the animes that show up. And finally, I am going to be saying all these statistics in inches and feet, so if this intrigues you and you want to know everything in centimeters, I would appreciate it if you went and found a converter on Google or something like that to figure out what everything is in centimeters if you don't understand exactly what things are in feet and inches. So let's start from the bottom and work our way up. At 3.5 feet tall, we have Yachiru Kushajishi from Bleach. As of her first appearance, that little pink thing, you know the girl, maybe. If you were to add another 9 inches to her height, you would get around the height of Chiyomiyama that is Chiyo-chan from Azumanga Daioh, and Aladdin from Magi the Labyrinth of Magic, that is his first appearance in the series, as it was at 4 foot 3 inches tall. At 4 foot 4, we have Toshiro Hitsugaya from Bleach, and the reason why I have all the people before him is because I felt really bad when I found out he was only 4 foot 4, and I'm like, I knew you were short, but I didn't think you were that short. That's kind of cute, actually. Look at him, he's so tiny. 3 inches taller than him is Krista Lenz from Attack on Titan at 4 foot 7 inches tall. And the only reason why I put Krista on this list is because I love saying all the characters that I found out are actually taller than her. That being said, who are some of these characters? Well, Eve from Black Hat at 4 foot 8, and Rukia Kuchiki from Bleach, who is 4 foot 8.5 inches tall. There aren't a lot of halves on here, by the way. And who's half an inch taller than that? None other than Honey Senpai from Ouran High School Host Club. Say what? Honey Senpai is taller than Krista. This is where things get interesting because Honey is the shortest character, in Ouran High School Host Club, but when you compare him to characters from other anime, you realize that he's not as small as you thought he was, or maybe he's smaller than you thought he was. It's also hard to believe that he's 17. 2 inches taller than him is Edward Elric at 4 foot 11 inches tall. That's his true height and not his full height, which would be including his idiot frizz and his platform shoes. He's not the only one who does that either. And guess what? I thought it was really funny when I found out that Yugi Moto from Yu-Gi-Oh! Is 5 foot tall, exactly, as of the Battle City statistics, and he is an inch taller than Edward Elric, even without that enormous hairdo. Then he's also the same height as Annie Leonard from Attack on Titan and Nier from Death Note. I'm not sure what's scarier, thinking of cutting off Yugi's hair and imagining him the same height as Annie from Attack on Titan, or imagining Nier standing up and being the same height as the two of them. Still relatively short, Edward from Cowboy Bebop is 5 foot 1 and an inch taller than them. Now it's time to get a little bit more bizarre. Koichi Hirose from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is 5 foot 2. Again, he is drawn a lot shorter than that, but if you actually were to size him out, make everything proportional, and stand him next to Yugi Moto, he'd be 2 inches taller, as illustrated by this picture. He's also the same height as Nai from Carnival and Levi from Attack on Titan. Levi is the same height as Koichi. I find that really funny to think about, actually. 5 foot 3 is Sakura Haruno from Naruto, which is also the reason why I'm not adding weights to this list, and only heights. She's the same height as Nanali V. Britannia from Code Geass, assuming she can stand, At least we know Nier can stand, we think. 5 foot 4. You have Armin Arlert from Attack on Titan, Yami Yugi from Yu-Gi-Oh!, and Finian from Black Butler. And Yugi is on here twice because apparently there's a 4-inch difference between smallish Yugi and bigger-ish Yugi. There actually is a height difference between them. That's kind of funny. 5'5". I had to dig around really hard to find anybody who fell into this category, and that would be Edward Elric. As of his last appearance in Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, he managed to gain half a foot. He's the same height as the Japan character from Hetalia, Kiko Honda, I think is his name, as it were, and Honey Senpai on drugs. Kanato Sakamaki from Diabolic Lovers. 5.5 feet tall exactly gives us almost every other male character from Baccano, like Vino, Firo, Graham Spectre. There's more, but I just felt like adding them to the list. And Ulquiorra Scheifer from Bleach. Or however you pronounce his name, you know. At least I managed to pronounce Ulquiorra. Oh, he's also the same height as Orochimaru from Naruto. Some of these characters don't seem as intimidating when you realize they're actually much closer to your height than you had imagined just looking at them on the TV or in your manga. At 5'7", we have Suzaku Kururugi from Code Geass, Tobaway from Wolf's Rain, Mello from Death Note, and Vash the Stampede from Trigun. I had a real moment when I realized that Vash the Stampede was actually a lot shorter than what I imagined. I thought he was like 6.5 feet tall or something, because when you're watching Trigun, everybody else looks so short compared to him. I mean, and Wolfwood, Nicholas D. Wolfwood, is actually taller by an inch. He's 5'8". I guess it must be the Edward Elric logic where Vash has his hair kind of spiked up and he's wearing those boots all the time, so he just looks taller than Wolfwood and everybody else in the series. Meryl Strife is actually 5'2", so it's quite strange. When you see these characters, you don't think that's the actual height difference, according to what may be official sources. Back to 5'8", Wolfwood shares his height with Rino Kumura from Blue Exorcist, Mizuki from Kami-sama Kiss, L from Death Note, and Giorno Giovanna from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Even the shortest of the JoJos is taller than Vash the Stampede. Again, it's weird to think about. At 5'9", we have Sakaki-san from Azumanga Daioh. We had the short one, and then we got the tall one in there. You know, I gotta do those for the sake of comparison. Thank you, Sakaki-san. At 5'10", we have Sesshomaru from Inuyasha, Sven Volfied from Black Cat, and Noriaki Kakyoin from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stardust Crusaders. Yeah, Kakyoin, remember, he's the short one. Not that you can tell when you're watching the show, he's the short one. At 5'11", because apparently no one wants to go anywhere between 5'10" and 6 foot, we have Wild Tiger from Tiger and Bunny, Kotetsu. Yeah, okay, that seems about right. At 6 foot, we have Makoto Tachibana from Free, Takuma Ichijo from Vampire Knight, and Pyrrha Nikos from Ruby. I don't care if you don't consider Ruby an anime. I wanted to put her on this list because then we have Jean, also from Ruby, who happens to be 6'1", along with half the... Just listen to this list of 6'1" characters, okay? Sebastian Michaelis from Black Butler, Polnareff from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Shizuo Heiwajima from Durarara, Grimmjow, Seto Kaiba, Takumi Usui, Maggie Mui, Spike Spiegel, and a lot more. I had to cut out quite a few characters from the 6'1" list. It's kind of insane. And then you think, they're all taller than Vash the Stampede. I thought Seto Kaiba was at least around the same height as Vash the Stampede, but apparently not. 6'2", luckily while I was on the Cowboy Bebop wiki, I managed to find out that Jet Black is an inch taller, filling out the 6'2" spot on this list. And by some fortune, I managed to find out that Darsha from Wolf's Rain is also that same height. 6'3" is Bertolt Hoover from Attack on Titan. He's not even the tallest character in the show by human standards. You gotta think of some of these high school students in terms of this is how tall they are as of the actual statistics, but if they manage to live and keep on growing, whatever. I'm gonna stop thinking about that. 6'4", we have Takashi Morinozuka from Ouran High School Host Club. Mori-senpai, yay! He's the same height as all three of the first three JoJos in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Jonathan, Joseph, and Jotaro. Then Josuke shows up and completely ruins everything, but whatever. At 6'5", we have Mephistopheles from Blue Exorcist, and Chad from Bleach, Sato, as he is 6'5.5". And the only reason why I decided to put that on there is because I wanted to be able to point out that Chad is half an inch shorter than Zaraki Kenpachi from Bleach as well, who is 6.5 feet tall. And then at 6'7", we have Simon from Durarara, and Bartholomew Oobleck from Ruby. It just puts a little bit more of a wow, you guys are tall effect onto there. Like I said, I like to compare these characters a lot. Like, when I think of Grimmjow from Bleach and Ban from the Seven Deadly Sins, I think about how much they look alike. And then you realize Ban is 6'11" tall, so he's like 10 inches taller than Grimmjow is. And in centimeters, that's a lot of centimeters. He's more than a head taller than him. If you were to stand them next to each other, it'd be like, wow. Okay then. And we're not even done. We're coming to the very last bit of this height chart, thank goodness. I got at 7'2" tall, the last recorded height on this list. Alex Louis Armstrong from Full Metal Alchemist. 7'2". Wow. Can I just say that Izumi Curtis's husband, Sig, is a little bit taller than that, but I couldn't figure out what his height was. And Armstrong also has these twin older sisters, rather obscure. They only show up once in the manga, but they are also both taller than he is. And no, I'm not talking about Olivier. She's in there too. Well, thank you very much for sticking with this, and I hope it managed to entertain you. I'm sorry I didn't put pictures of these characters up next to each other. I would have drawn out more of these height comparison pictures if I had given myself time to do that. I will be uploading more of these progressively to my DeviantArt, so you can check that out sometime, because I definitely want to draw some of this stuff. Before this video ends, I would like to also pick your brains. Can you please tell me how tall Dragon Ball Z characters are? Because I cannot find out for the life of me. It's all like fan speculation. And if that's all you have, then please give it to me anyway. Start a comment war in the comment section below or something. I really want to see what you guys have to say about Dragon Ball Z character heights, if not just to compare them to the other people on this list. Come back 2 weeks from now on Valentine's Day when I decide to discuss exactly what the tropes in romance and harem anime are and how you can predict exactly who is gonna end up with the main character, if anybody at all. Thank you for your time, and I hope to see you in the next video. Ciao!